Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Malicious here with a look at the Nokia 3310. Now, don't get too excited. It's not the original Nokia 3310. I'd be pretty jazzed about that. If I could find an older one on eBay, I'll pick it up sometime. A nice example of one to show you. Not that old one, not the 1X one, but the one from 2017. The 3G version. And we're going to talk a little bit about feature phones today. But before I do that, I want to thank every single one of you. 240 subscribers is insane. Thank you so much. If you like the old stuff, if you like new phones, old tech, whatever, if it's got batteries or some sort of power going into it, we cover it here. Go ahead and tussle that subscribe button. It certainly means a lot to me. Okay, so a couple things going on here. Let's take a look at this particular one. Now, obviously, they were going for the younger crowd with this phone. They were going for that nostalgia feel. Maybe you had an original 3310 in high school, whatever it was. Maybe that was your first phone, that small little compact one. Maybe your parents had one. You're like, you know what? Let me pick one of these up. It's under $100 and I could have one. I could use it for a little bit. I could feel like I'm in the year 2000 and have a little bit of fun. I personally think that feature phones have a place in 2020. Now perhaps not this one, because this is only 3G in a lot of places, believe it or not. I didn't even realize that they were even thinking about downing 3G to make room on the bandwidth for 5G and whatever else is going to come next. That, to me, is crazy. I remember it wasn't all that long ago that your iPhone didn't even have 3G. And now we're talking about getting rid of it, but I guess that's just the march of time. But it wasn't that long ago that when you were talking about feature phones, you were literally talking about this guy. And perhaps this is actually more advanced than some of the feature phones. I remember the feature phones that were the Jitterbug, the original Jitterbug, I think with Verizon, that had 4 buttons on it. Had the home button, had the various emergency contacts that you could reach, and that was it. So this is the feature phone, and when you think feature phones, you're thinking of, this is what you give grandma, right? The big buttons, the on-off button, the speaker phone. This is what you give grandma to make her calls, and I would say that's what you give little Timmy if he gets lost at the bus. But we all know at this point in 2020 that damn well that little Timmy has an iPhone 12 4X Max Pro Ultra on pre-order, because for preschool he absolutely needs that kind of computing power on his phone. But that's fine. That's just the way it is. But why would somebody who has a flagship of some sort be interested in a feature phone in 2020? And there are reasons for that. I think that in addition to, first of all, this is very small. And they do have a more modern version of this. They have a 4G version. They came out with an updated version of this that has 4G. They also released a newer one this year in 2020 that maintains this kind of compact form factor. Number one, it's simple. I know a lot of you guys in the comment section when I was talking, introduce Evie, by the way, our helper for the day. Hello. I know a lot in the comment section of my older BlackBerry videos and even the older Windows Phone videos, a lot of you were saying that you like to disconnect, focus on work, focus on your life, whatever it is. You're not doing a lot of texting on this, okay? You've got the T9 texting, which is just absolutely painful, and you're making phone calls. That's it. If you need phone calls for emergencies, if you need maybe a little bit of texting, you could receive text. It technically has apps, but to be perfectly honest, I haven't been able to get them to work. I know that's a carrier setting thing. I'm sure they worked at some point. It has Opera Mini. It has a couple different things on here that you can use. It has, let me get out of the way right now. Everybody's going to want to see what Snake looks like. That's the only reason probably why some of you even clicked on here, to see what the updated, very Java-ish looking version of Snake would be like. And you just move it around. It's smoother. I'll give them that. Better frames than the original version. A little bit of color. Not the same charm, but hey, listen, you got a few minutes. You're carrying this around. You don't have a lot going on your phone. That could be fun. Anyway, a lot of you want to disconnect, so this would be the perfect device for that. The other reason why I think that you'd really consider carrying a phone like this, especially for ladies, it fits in a purse or a small pocket. Guys, or even ladies, you're wearing jeans, that pocket watch pocket where you just basically put your change and receipts and stuff, it fits comfortably in there. If you're out doing whatever, you drop and break your phone, there's nobody else around, you don't want to be completely stranded. If you still have your phone, you pop your SIM out and you put it in here. You keep this off. You don't even keep it powered up. You just keep it charged up. I'd go over the specs, but if you're eating, I don't want you to vomit And it's not really meant for that. A 1200 milliamp battery is the important one here. That's enough to power this thing for probably forever. You put your SIM in this and you keep going. You make an emergency call. You can get, if you're in a car accident, your phone's broken, you can pop it in here. And that's why I really like with phone makers, and I hope more people pick up on it, like the Sony. Do I need to use a SIM tray tool? Why can't you just have this little flap like the Sony Xperia? Pull it right out. This is secure. This isn't going anywhere. I don't need a SIM tray tool, so that's actually very nice. And then you pop it in something like this. And even let's just say that you want a second line. Let's say you're doing something where like you go to one of these companies or even your own carrier, give you a second line for 20 bucks a month. Some of these places, when you're not using a lot of data because you're not using it for anything, will give you one for 10 bucks a month just as a backup. If your phone is completely busted, lost, stolen, you're out, something like that. This could get you out of some serious trouble. And I think the world's crazy. Things happen. For a little bit of security, under 100 bucks for something like this, I think this one you get now for probably 56 on a good deal, or 50 or 60 on a good deal, and then the 10 bucks a month for the service. For that little bit of extra security that you get, I absolutely think that feature phones are worth it. So besides just the nostalgia factor of being able to carry around a phone that you could throw through a window, which, listen, we were all there. We appreciate. Personally, I like the fact that they did the 3310. I would like to see the original brick Nokia remade, remastered. And what I want it remastered in the exact way that they remastered the other one, where you actually make the faceplates. Because do you remember, nothing was cooler than when you go to the mall and you'd have those kiosks and nothing was cooler than when you found a faceplate that you actually wanted to use and that was somewhat of decent quality plastic. And you'd swap that out, you pull the faceplate off your Nokia brick and you put the new one on and you were just the coolest. I had this, like, not translucent green, but I had this one that changed kind of from green to purple depending on what light it was in. Nothing was cooler than that. Nokia used to do cool stuff, man. Even with the Windows Phone, which we've gone over. We got more Windows Phone stuff coming up. And you got a little hint of that with the color here. But I definitely think that feature phones have a place, and not just for old people and young people and very young people. I think they have a place for people who could use a backup device. I think it's a smart idea. I think it's a relatively cost-effective way to have that extra piece of security with you in case anything bad happens to your main device, in case it gets lost or stolen, completely damaged, waterlogged, whatever can happen to phones these days. You're not completely stranded. You take your SIM out or you take your backup line, you power it up, you call for help, you call family, you call friends. Hey, listen, you still at wherever? My phone's there. Pick it up for me. I mean, how many times you left your phone somewhere? Maybe your friends are still there. Pick this one up. Hey, Joe, my phone's still sitting there. Can you grab it for me? And then you're good to go. You're not getting home that night, not realizing you don't have it. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I think there's definite place for feature phones in 2020. And I hope we see some more interesting ones, and I'll pick up some more of them. The 2020 version that's the same size as this looks pretty interesting. So it's something that I'll take a look at. If you guys want to see more feature phones, why not? Go ahead, subscribe. I'll be sure to get them. We got some Windows Phone stuff coming up this week, more Nokia stuff. A lot of fun. Unboxings. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe. All that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day.